But let me just do a little background, then we come into the main issue. I want to have an overview of the power sector, how VRA fits in, and how come they owe Ghana gas and what we can do about it. When you take the power sector, there are companies who cook. Let's say they cook, they generate the power. And Volta River Authority is there. We also have independent power producers, private companies, they can also generate power. When they generate the power, another company goes to take that power, cool it, and bring it so that it can be sold. We call that company Gridco, or Ghana Grid Company. Then when they bring it and it's cooled, another company will take it and sell. They will do what we call distribution. So we have three main segments: the generation, those who cook the power; the transmission, let's say they transport it; and the distribution, where ECG, or in the north we had NETCO, which is a subsidiary of VRA. So that is more like the stages where we have. But later I will revisit this to see how this is also influencing VRA's challenges. So in order to enhance access to power, the government has signed so many agreements. So all these are various power plants. Some of them are owned by VRA, others are owned by individual companies, and all these, how much they generate, everything is there. But I think I'll make the slides available so we won't go through so much. You need it, eh? Okay. So Ghana has been trying in terms of access. When you see the blue line, that is access, energy access in Nigeria. And the other one, I don't know whether it's orange, eh? That is Ghana. So you see that even in 1990, in terms of access, Nigeria was a little higher than Ghana. But as at 2015, Ghana is above, almost at 80%. Nigeria is still around 57%. So in terms of sending the power to people, I think that Ghana is trying. But at what cost? Are we doing the right investment whilst we are sending the power to our people? This is the regional distribution. So when you take Greater Accra, for instance, it is estimated that 96% of the population, the households in Greater Accra, have access to power. The least region with access is Upper East, which is 55%. So we have the regional distribution: Western region 81%, Central 86%. This is as of December 2015. So there may be some improvement. Then there are also other good policies. So we did not just concentrate on generating power. The government also concentrated in protecting the consumer. So when you look at the regulations guarding the performance of the electricity sector, when you look at Section 6, it says that a town, a city like Accra, over a period of 1 year, we should not have power outages. When you add everything, it should not be more than 48 hours. Why are you laughing? Then when you take district capitals, it should not be more than 72 hours. And villages, it should not be more than 144 hours. The essence was that the consumer should also be protected. Please, do you understand? But in case there is a major fault, and for that matter, because of that, there should be outage more than this, the companies involved should communicate to consumers as to why we are going to exceed this point. So if you get light off more than 48 hours, and there's no communication to explain before, then it is illegal. You can sue them. If we say we are suing ECG because of this, I think they will spend all their time in court. So we have to work hard to improve this. Despite all this, again, in 1997, Energy Commission was set up to regulate standards, the technical standards in the power sector. Somebody is bringing a machine and all those things. They have to check. They have to do so many things. EPA will do the environmental checks. Then the Public Utility Regulatory Commission, PURC, was also the commercial regulator, helping to set tariffs and all this so that the investor will be protected and the consumer will be protected. Please, are you okay? Despite all this, in 2015, we had about 150 days of unstable power supply. In fact, we had so many other challenges. And according to a study by ISE Legon, GDP reduced by about 2% because of all these challenges. So why did we invest? We've invested so much bringing in private sector into generation. VRA is there. We set up institutions to protect the consumer and protect the investor. We've done all this, yet we were having challenges. So many reasons can be accounted for this. But at this time, let me narrow it down to VRA. So as I said, Act 46, 1961, April 26th, VRA was established. Later, there were other reforms and the mandate changed. But VRA has been a major source. So when you look at the trend in terms of capacity, as I said, even today, if you look at estimated generation of peak time, it is less than 2,000. When you look at VRA's even hydro capacity alone, you are looking at about 1,180. When you look at the thermal capacity, and let me just explain this too. The hydro is more like using the akosombo, the running water and all those things. The thermal are the big generators. And normally the thermal, you need either natural gas, oil, or other sources of fuel to power them. But the other ones, the renewable, solar, hydro, that one you depend on nature, whether rainfall, the sunshine, and all those things to get. So nature provides the fuel you need. So VRA manages or owns the Akosombo Dam. But as I said, it depends on the level of water. And normally it has been estimated by VRA that the minimum operation level of Akosombo Dam, for instance, is 240 feet. So when the water is below 240 feet, you cannot own all the turbines, all the machines that should turn for the power to be generated. Engineer Director may explain more about that. So this has been the water level. And when you see 2016 July 2016, you see that the water level at times is around 236. Now what it means is that if they own all the turbines, you get more power. But because the water level is low, if you own all the turbines, you can create problems in the future. It's like, this is the capacity. This taxi takes 3 people because of the space. If you put in 5 people all the time, what will happen? It will weaken, is that not it? And if it was to last for 5 years, you see that it will last for 3 years. So this is one of the challenges, and in fact, it affected our power supply. When you look at BUI to see, so we depend so much on the level of water in Akosombo or the BUI Dam. Now, when it happens like that, it affects us because for a long time, the blue area is hydro. Ghana was solely dependent on hydro until around 1997 when the thermal plants came in, big generators. The red ones are oil-powered thermal plants, and the small dot here is a gas-powered thermal plants here. So oil came even before gas, and that has been the trend. So whenever we have low water level, it means that we are going to be affected. It doesn't work. Okay. So as at December 2016, this was the actual energy generation in Ghana. And when you see, look at 2016, you see that we got more power from thermal plant than the hydro, and we also imported some power. Now what it means is that I said the thermal plants, the generators, they need oil or gas. So if you are using more of the generator, then you have to buy more oil or more gas. Please, is it okay? So this was the case. It means that VRA needs more money to invest, to get fuel, to get more plants, and all those things. But they are well. It's a minute. As I know. Yeah. Oops, yeah, I should use this. Okay, please can we go on? I hope you are enjoying the story. So, unfortunately, normally when you eat like this and you come, we should be doing some equation and mathematics. Fortunately, I'm telling a story, but it's a very important one. So, VRA does all these things for us. Country owns it. In fact, when you look at how they generate, in fact, yes, when you take the hydro, it's the cheapest. They do so many things for us. But VRA is running at a loss. Not because they are incompetent, but because of so many reasons which we'll go through one by one and see how we can deal with those challenges. Yes, okay. Yeah, I'll use it. Okay, so I can. Oh, okay. 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 So please, from independent, dependent solely on Akosombo, and later the Pond Dam also came in. That power is cheaper. The hydro source is cheaper. But we made a decision. In 1985, there was another study by engineers at VRA. And that decision was that because the water level has been volatile sometimes, because we had our first doomsaw around 1982. And later, in part of 1990s, we had another doomsaw. So the suggestion then was that let us get other sources to complement what we have. See, but hydro was cheap. So Akosombo was giving us power at a very low rate. Why? Because we're not buying fuel. The water was coming from more like the rains and the water level. So we just needed money for maintenance, money to pay staff, operational, but for fuel, we're not buying. So when VRA decided to move into thermal generation, there should have been some adjustment, especially in tariffs. But for a long time, we still paid as if they were using hydro to generate. Please do you understand? So when they were just using hydro, we were paying 5 cedis. Now they go and import oil to come and more like produce the power. We are still paying the 5 cedis. Cost has increased. So why did we do that and all those? I wish this thing will come so that at least it can flow a little. So in order to find alternatives, natural gas is cheaper than oil. but that is also a little relative depending on the price of oil. Natural gas is cleaner than oil in terms of carbon dioxide, in terms of sulfur emission. So late 90s, early 2000, we decided to start talking to Nigeria. In fact, we started a long time ago, but we entered into an agreement with Nigeria to start supplying us gas, about 123 million cubic feet of gas per day. So that instead of VRA importing oil, they can also use gas. As I said, gas is cheaper than oil. And gas is also cleaner than oil. Please, are you okay with that? Later, Ghana Gas also came in, and VRA started getting gas from them. But along the line, something happened. One thing that happened, can I just... Okay, sorry. So, this is just a summary based on VRA's 2016 financial performance. This is it. The downline is negative. This is the profit or loss. And when you look at this is loss, 2012, 2013, very small profit. This is zero. This is the profit. 2014, 2015, negative. So, as I said, they went to Ghana Gas and all those things. So, when you look at the gas sector, this one, but I think Ghana Gas will throw more light on the gas sector. So, as I said, gas is cleaner in terms of sulfur, carbon emission. Gas is also cheaper in terms of economics and lower capital expenditure. When you use it, it's very efficient, has lower price and all those ones. And it is technically also reliable than oil, highly efficient. Okay. So this is Ghana Gas, their infrastructure, and the gas they produce, that's the lean gas they supply to VRA. They also sell LPGs, they sell other condensate and other companies. And all those ones. I think they will throw more light. So as at 2015, this is how much gas was sold. Unfortunately, Ghana Gas was able to collect only 12%. 2015. In 2016, there was an improvement. This is the half year 2016. 14% they were able to collect 14% of the total gas they sold. And when you take the lean gas, most of them are sold to VRA. So when you take the cost, how much VRA owes, you see, take June 2015, it started rising. As of December 2016, it was about $434 million. And as of August 2017, it was about $543 million. So it is going up. Now, if we don't do anything about it, VRA is threatened. Ghana Gas may also go for loans to do investment. So Ghana Gas will be threatened. So in future, there will not be any Ghana Gas and there will not be any VRA. Please, do you understand? We are in a very serious situation, is that not it? Fortunately, Ghana Gas and VRA are on the same table. So maybe they will settle their matter before we leave here. Okay, so I've explained this. So what caused all this? Number one is what we call the debt cycle. VRA goes for the gas. We produce the power. ECG will come and take the power that I'm going to sell and bring your money to you. Then ECG sells the power. ECG does not pay VRA. Why? Because ECG says that there are two things. Government says there are some customers we call lifeline consumers. They are poor. So for them, instead of selling the power to them at 2, sell it at 1. I'll pay the other half. The government will not pay. Then we have government institutions, universities, top public institutions. They don't pay electricity bill. So who pays for that? Including the Flagstaff House. So who should pay? VRA. So ECG sells it and they will make a loss. But the little money they get, we sign certain agreement with the private sector. You know, VRA produces power. Then America comes and also produces power. Then we sign agreement that when you get the money, you pay the private sector first. What is left, then you pay VRA. And whenever they finish paying the private sector, the money is finished. Please, do you understand? So, is it VRA? So that is the first point. The debt cycle. Government owes ECG. ECG owes VRA. VRA owes Ghana Gas. And maybe Ghana Gas also owes the government. Or you don't owe. So that is the first one. If we want to do anything about this, then we have to break the debt cycle. We should break it. Okay. Then again, we have other issues. When prices of crude oil goes up. You see, VRA gets at times import oil to produce the power. Apart from gas, they use oil. Then we also have bulk oil distribution companies. They import oil and sell to us so we can buy and put it in our car. Then we put a tax on petroleum prices. We call it price mitigation levy. That when prices are high, and because the oil is sold in dollars, when an exchange rate is bad, we are going to use that levy to support them. But for VRA, they also import the same oil, the same exchange rate, there's nothing cushioning them. So when prices are oil prices are high and the exchange rate is so bad, we expect that they sell the power to us the same price. And if that happens, then it can lead to. So again, unpaid government subsidies and other factors. Then we have the almighty ECG, and I've explained the debt cycle. In fact, I've given reasons and all those things, so when you get it. But the challenge is that ECG does not pay. One, they say government owes them. Two, there's what we call high distribution losses. Every 100 megawatt ECG buys from VRA, about 25 to 32% gets lost. It vanishes. It has vanished. And a percentage, every percentage they lose is about $8 million. So in 2015, they lost 32%. That is $270 million. So I'm coming to explain. They lost it through two main channels. We have what we call technical losses and we have what we call commercial losses. The commercial losses happens in two main ways. The illegal one and the lazy one. The illegal one is the illegal connection. People do illegal connection and we have to speak against it. It is not good. We use money to get the fuel to produce the power. So whoever uses power, including the government, should pay. The second one is uncollected bills. There are those who want to even pay. You call ECG office. Your bill will never come. 6 months, it has never come. At times, it does not even run. And at times, people, when they see their bill in March, is 0. 5 cedis. April, the same 5 cedis. May, 5 cedis. Instead of reporting, they'll go to church and give Thanksgiving offering. That God has been very merciful My God has been very merciful to them, and that now they get everything free, including electricity. But so that is also another source of the losses. Then we have the technical losses, where because some of their machines are old and weak, so much inefficiency and so many things. Then there are also at times meter issues, so many. So all these things contribute to the losses I'm talking about. Then when you look at even how we price our electricity, this is the United States. And you see the residential. When you take the electricity sector, we have residential. Those of us in the house, we use the TV, the electricity to watch Kunkum Baja and those things. That is residential. Commercial, offices, government buildings. Then we have industrial. Almost everywhere, the industry pays lesser than residential because they use it to produce. They employ people so that when they get power a little cheaper, they can produce more at a cheaper cost to employ more people. And when they want to export, their products will be cheaper for us to get market. So this is US. When you go to other countries, Greece, almost everywhere, that is it. In Ghana, the industrial sector pays higher. And they rather subsidize those in the residential to use the electricity to watch Kunkumbaja. So that is it. And, okay. Then I've spoken about this distribution losses. Then we have this. Unfairness. So, Ameri wanted to come in. Asogli wanted to come in. The government was even struggling to get gas for VRA, your own plant. Then you sign an agreement that when you bring your plant, I will give you gas. Please, do you understand? Your own house, in fact, things are so hard that you have your last tea bread you know that you're going to share with your children. Then you go to your neighbor's house and you tell them that we are having a party. So come and enjoy. So Ameri comes in. VRA will go for the gas because VRA has agreement with Ghana Gas. When they take the gas, per the contract Ameri has with the government, not with VRA, with the government, VRA is supposed to give Ameri the gas. Ameri will use it and will not pay VRA. To Ghana Gas, VRA owes. But VRA has not used any gas. So that is it. The same, 100 meters. You see where somebody is starting and where another person is starting. Meanwhile, you want to measure them. That, oh, Ameri is making profit. VRA is making losses. So this is a major challenge. That if you are bringing your plant, then you should be able to tell that where you get your fuel. You factor that in. You negotiate with Ghana Gas. And you say that because of the fuel A, B, and C, I'm going to sell my power at 2 cedis. If the government wants, you take it. But you come in and say, oh, we will sell it to you cheaper, but you give us fuel. You don't have fuel. Then you say, VRA supply them fuel. VRA does not supply fuel. It is also a competitor. So it's like putting your competitor on your shoulder to compete with you. And that is a very sad moment. Then we also have VACO. So in 2006, government said, let us go for VACO. We went for VACO, and we are telling VRA to give VACO because it's a national company power, but at third the costs. So if VRA is using 3 cedis to produce 1 megawatt, they sell the power to VACO at